In the last few days, we have seen several state leaders tour communities devastated by the flood, viewing the destruction firsthand and speaking with those affected. Today, Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman traveled to Clay, Leslie, Letcher, and Knott counties to see flood relief efforts in person and to hear the stories of Eastern Kentuckians who were affected.
The more people we can talk to and hear from, the more needs that we hear about, the more we can help. And so that's what both of us have been kind of tag teaming the way a governor and lieutenant governor are supposed to in different areas and following up and making sure that we're getting folks what they need.
Lieutenant Governor Coleman says she and the governor understand that it will take a long time to rebuild, and they plan to stand with Eastern Kentucky and help the folks here for however long it takes. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell praised Kentucky heroism during remarks on the Senate floor. McConnell said, quote, "All across Eastern Kentucky, emergency crews are making a Herculean effort to restore access to power, roads, and running water." He went on to praise the Kentucky National Guard and first responders. He ended his remarks on the flooding by saying, quote, "These courageous acts from professionals and ordinary Kentuckians alike will continue to provide a hopeful glimmer of humanity in this dark disaster." Today, some East Kentucky senators and others gathered at the Wendell H. Ford Airport in Perry County to answer questions about flood rescues and the recovery. The state representative with the 54th District, Chris Fugate, says it's been unbelievable to see how people in these communities have come together.
You know, it's easy to focus on the bad. Sometimes we do that. But man, this week has opened my eyes to there are still a lot of great people out here in the world.
Sure are. You saw it all along Highway 80 today. Just people coming in from everywhere with donations. It was unbelievable. Fugate says there is still a lot that needs to be done, but the outpouring of help has been amazing. We will have more from today's news conference a little later tonight. FEMA officials say the organization and the U.S. Small Business Administration never charges for applications, home inspections, grants, disaster loan applications, or anything else. Because of the recent flooding, people may be trying, unfortunately, to take advantage of those who have suffered flood damage. FEMA officials ask that if you believe you or a loved one have been or think you could have been the victim of a scam or identity theft, you should report it immediately to your local police or sheriff's department. For more information on FEMA aid, you can visit WYMT.com. For one local musician, the floodwaters receded, leaving behind inspiration. So when the floodwaters came and his community came together, he was inspired to turn their tragedy into a melody.
It's hard for everybody right now. Everybody's just still cleaning things up and coming through and seeing this, just what it's done here is heartbreaking.
His song, called "Come Hell or High Water," has received love from people on social media since he posted it, and he says he is blessed to share it during a time when people need it most.
Continuing to watch, a couple of showers and storms bubble up this afternoon. None in the mountains so far, but I can't rule it out as we head through the remainder of this hot Wednesday afternoon. Outside at the moment, we look over from our high knob camera at UVA-wise, and I'll point out we're mostly okay, but look in the distance there. Yeah, there's a couple of storms trying to bubble their way up this afternoon. Low 80s out there. And you know, if Wise is in the low 80s, many of us are on the toasty side. Downtown Whitesburg, just a few fair weather clouds this afternoon. The sun shining bright on downtown Whitesburg right now. It's also shining very hot. 88 degrees right now. 91 it feels like, thanks to that dew point in the middle and upper 60s. And nary a breeze to cool us down very much. Upper 80s and low 90s area wide. Factor in the dew points in the 70s or 60s and 70s, and it feels like 100 in Somerset, 103 in Monticello. It feels like 98 in Manchester and 95 in Prestonsburg. So the heat continues. We're all quiet in the mountains, but you don't have to look far. Look over into portions of central Kentucky, and they're dealing with some thunderstorms. We're all quiet, but not off to the north and west. Keep that WYMT weather app handy. You're going to find it increasingly useful over the next few days, not only because we've got the heat in place, but we'll also eventually, even as soon as tomorrow, see a return in the chance for showers and storms. The latest on that's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. A Central Kentucky ambulance service crammed an ambulance full of donations for Perry County flood survivors. Jessamine County EMS held a donation drive Tuesday at the Nicholasville Walmart, where community members donated essential items like bottled water, paper towels, diapers, and more. Workers dropped off those supplies at East Perry Elementary School this morning.
Something happens to someone or a community, all communities should step up and try to help if they can. And that's just really how we felt, like we needed to do something.
A donation coordinator for the city of Hazard and Perry County says the greatest needs now are shovels, push brooms, gloves, and work boots. In Breathitt County, the Salvation Army has handed out thousands of meals. Places like the Conservation Office have distributed desperately needed gas and propane vouchers. Cleaning supplies and necessities like food and water are at the top of people's priorities, but some items like tents and sleeping bags are not necessarily the first things people think of when donating items to folks who've lost everything. Board Secretary Janelle Fugit says the stories of loss you'll hear are more than enough to break your heart.
One of our board members, his mother and father lost their whole home. Well, right beside of her lived her aunt. She lost her life. Across the river from them was her sister. She lost her life. So she's suffering 2 loss of lives. And that's just one story. There's so many more.
Some of the most needed items right now are trash bags, food they don't have to cook because so many are still without power, although that number is going down, and canned food that has the peel back tops since people cannot use their electric can openers. Kentucky Power, a subsidiary of American Electric Power, announced the American Electric Power Foundation will donate $100,000 to 4 organizations that are working to address immediate needs in the flood-stricken areas of eastern Kentucky. Those organizations include Save the Children, American Red Cross of Kentucky, the Team Kentucky Government Fund, and the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. They will each receive $25,000. Kentucky Power provides electric service to approximately 165,000 customers in 20 eastern Kentucky counties. Well, we continue to partner with WKYT in Lexington and WSAZ in Charleston, Huntington, West Virginia for Appalachia Rises, a week of giving. Our goal is to support the ARH Foundation Fund for Flood Relief and the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky Crisis Fund. Our fundraising efforts have received another major boost from Hazard native Joe Kraft and his wife, former UN Ambassador Kelly Knight Kraft. The couple will match every dollar raised for the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky Crisis Fund up to $1.5 million. You can get involved in the fundraising effort by scanning the QR code there on your screen. Coming up on First at 4, an increase in hotel guests has left workers overwhelmed as staffing shortages continue.
Plus, we continue to keep an eye on sunny skies out there now, but some of us may see a return to showers and storms. Details coming up.